All right, today we're going to tackle a problem that, anyone who's worked with AI has felt. It's that moment when your best, most powerful model just fails. The answer, it turns out, might be this really clever approach called agentic workflows. And we're going to break down exactly what that means.
So this is really the core of it, right? You've tried everything. You scaled up from a small model to a bigger one. And then you went for the biggest, baddest large language model you could get your hands on. But it still can't solve your problem. It's an incredibly frustrating wall to hit, but it's also the exact moment where the really cool innovation starts to happen.
The standard playbook is just to throw more power, more parameters at the problem, but that'll only get you so far. The developer behind this example, they hit that exact wall. A single, massive, complicated prompt just wasn't cutting it. The solution? It took a completely different way of thinking. It meant stop thinking about one single genius AI and start thinking like a manager of an entire AI team.
To really get this new approach, let's first dig into the problem it was built to solve. And honestly, it seems almost deceptively simple. It all revolves around a grocery list.
Okay, let's look at the data here. So in column B, you've got the items that were missing from a grocery order: ham, cheese, and bread. And in column A, we've got the employee's notes trying to explain why. For the ham, the reason's pretty clear. All of it was old. Okay, fair enough. But for cheese, the note is just meh. And for the bread, nothing. No note at all. So the goal seems straightforward enough, right? We just need to build something that automatically flags any missing item that doesn't have a valid reason. So in our case, it should flag cheese and bread. I mean, this should be a piece of cake for a powerful AI, shouldn't it? Well, as it turns out, not so much. And this is the exact point where it all fell apart. The single AI model, it just got confused by the nuance. It could see that the word cheese and the word meh were next to each other, but it really struggled to judge whether meh was a valid business reason. And that one little act of judgment is what made the whole thing fail.
So, the one giant brain approach was a bust. It was time for a new strategy. And this is where things get really, really clever. This was that aha moment, shifting to what we now call an agentic AI solution.
So what on earth is an agentic workflow? Well, the best way to think about it is like this. Instead of hiring one super genius to do a really complex project, you hire a small team of specialists. Each person on the team, each agent, is an expert at one specific thing. In the world of AI, an agent could be a really focused prompt, or a different AI model, or even just a simple bit of normal code. The point is, they all work together in order to get the job done right. So let's see how this actually works in practice. The developer broke this problem down into a 4-step process, almost like an assembly line, where each agent has one and only one job to do. Here it is. This is the roadmap for our AI team. First, you have an extractor agent that just finds every item that has any kind of note next to it. Then, a validator agent steps in to judge if those notes are actually good reasons. Third, a comparer agent checks the original list against the now validated list to see what's missing. And finally, an output agent just cleans it all up and formats the final report. 4 specialists, 1 goal. All right, let's watch the team go. Agent number 1, the extractor. Its only job is to scan the columns and pull out every item that has any note whatsoever. Its output is super simple. It finds ham has the note old and cheese has the note meh. Notice it completely ignores the bread because there was no note. That's it. Job done. On to the next one. Now the output from step 1 gets handed off to our second agent, the validator. This agent is a specialist. Its one job is to judge the reasons. It looks at ham, old, and says, yep, that's a valid reason. Then it looks at cheese, meh, and says, no, that is not a valid business reason. So it filters that one out and only passes the truly validated item along to the next step. Okay, step 3. The compare agent gets 2 lists. The first is our original list of all missing items, so ham, cheese, and bread. The second list is the stuff with valid excuses, which right now is just ham. It compares the two and it immediately spots the difference. Cheese and bread are on the original list, but they're not on the validated list, so it flags them. And finally, our fourth agent just takes the flagged items from the comparer and formats them into a nice, clean, final report. And look at that. It correctly identifies cheese and bread as lacking a valid explanation. By breaking the problem down, this little team of specialists totally succeeded where the single genius AI failed. So the big question is, why is this team-based approach so much better? The answer really gets to the core of how these large language models actually, think.
You see, when you give a large language model one giant, complex prompt, you're basically asking it to do too much at once. You're overloading it. It's trying to be an extractor, a classifier, a comparer, and a report generator all at the same time. And, just like a person, when you try to multitask that many different kinds of thinking at once, you're probably going to get confused and you're going to make mistakes.
This slide really nails the difference. The single prompt, our so-called genius, it was given one massive tangled-up task and it failed because it got tripped up by all the nuance. The agentic workflow, our team, it broke that same task into 4 small, focused jobs. It's kind of like microservices in software development. Each agent does its one job perfectly, and that leads to a successful, reliable result. It's the power of specialization.
And really, that's the key takeaway here. The next time you are stuck on a really complex AI problem, just remember that the answer might not be a bigger, more powerful model. The answer might just be a smarter, more effective team of smaller, specialized agents.
So, that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Look at the challenges in your own work, whether you're coding, analyzing data, or even just trying to manage your email inbox. What's one big, messy problem that you could potentially solve by breaking it down and building your very own team of AI agents? Thanks for tuning in.